Good morning, everybody. Mike Vacchi, Princetontrader.com, here with your Monday market webcast. Okay, so we have talked about secondary band rides recently and in the past. And what you've had here is you had an upper band ride here and here. It took a day off. They hopped it back, grabbed the upper band, really took it on Friday. Brought it back a little bit overnight. It's about 6 a.m. Eastern time as I'm doing this. But secondary band rides are particularly nasty for the contrarian viewpoint because it gives you a day to feel like, okay, we're going to be right. It's going to be okay. And then it's just so not okay. And that was a one-way ticket to, the 4,300 area. I think we've done 97 and change. Hourly chart. So this is where they had the trouble. They had so many opportunities to deal with the weekly pivot, the weekly pivot and the 9-day back on Wednesday and Thursday. And finally, it was fed up and it was done and it converted up and through, followed through after jobs on Friday, sealed off the hourly mid-band on the downside reaction to 35, and then it never really looked back. Printed as high as 97.75. This right now is the first time we've really been back to the hourly mid-band since. Hourly mid-band today comes in at 42.85.29. Volume weighted average price VWAP 42.86.62. Our proprietary moving average 5-minute mid-band are jammed in at 88. So you've got a lot going on. 85 to 88, very tight Globex range. Grand total of 12.25 handles. You can see that here. It's flattened in. So we'll see how we open today. It should be very interesting to see what type of reaction the bears will have to getting back in towards weekly pivot. I would expect a weekly pivot test to happen at some point fairly early in the week, if not today. The question becomes, what do they do with it? Because what they did with it last week was nothing at all. After giving up, so you had last week, you had last Friday, that was where they broke through the 9-day and the weekly pivot, finished above it, and then really last week was just about testing it and holding it. So you got the 9-day at 42.10 now. Weekly pivot is separated up at 42.53. The roundy at 4,300 is open. That price is open for a print. Do the bulls deal with 4,300 better than they handled 4,200 there for the last, call it a month or so? I don't know. And there's no sense in trying to guess, because in the guessing and being wrong, what you end up doing is throwing a bunch of darts at highs, and if you're wrong, you're just going to fight this thing all the way up. And people have been fighting it for the last couple of days. People have been fighting it really, the last couple of days, the downside fighting has been going on for weeks. And I mean down at like 4,100, 39.80, 40.80, things like that. So the big takeaways for today are, can the bulls deal with 4,300? And if they can they close above it? For the bears, can you get back to weekly pivot? If you can it be anything but support? If the bears can get back and close below 42.50 at some point this week, then they can start to claw their way back towards the 9-day at 42.10, get back into 4,100. In the bigger picture, what probably ends up is we end up fighting over a higher 100 handles, meaning we've been fighting over 4,100 to 4,200 now for a month. Are we in a situation now where we're going to start fighting over 4,200 to 4,300? I have to expect that that's the most likely outcome of all this, because there's still so much going on, geopolitically, economically, Fed, all that same stuff is still there. It's still there. Now, the market's a forward-thinking mechanism that obviously, is thinking, we've been through the worst of it and we're headed higher. Right or wrong. That's just price. But there's so much there that I have great difficulty with a massive move up. And the way price has been acting, you can call it the last 5 or 6 months, I have big problems with the viewpoint of a massive move down. That's, I think both of those theories, big gigantic move up to highs, big gigantic move down where the moon crashes into the earth and, we're all walking around with gold shavings in our pockets. That's all a little bit unrealistic. What's the most realistic ending to this? Probably fighting over 4,200 to 4,300 for the vast majority of the summer, which is fine. That's a great day trading market. It's a great trader's market. It's a great stock pickers market. You can do very well in that market. But we'll see how it sets up. This is going to be an important week for framing that question. We're going to deal with 4,300 this week. We'll probably deal with 4,200 at some point this week, and we'll see how those two numbers react. Okay, everybody have a fantastic day, fantastic week. Be safe, be healthy, take care, trade them well. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Follow us over on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Princetontrader. Check us out on Facebook and join us for a free trial at www.princetontrader.com. Trade them well.